So let's start again. I'm Bill from LessonPix. Thank you for joining us on this Friday night. With me is Lori Binko, my co-founder of LessonPix, a special ed teacher of many years. Recently left the practice.
Sure did.
And is now LessonPix full-time. Very lucky. And Theresa Ruth, our SLP in chief here in at LessonPix, also one of the first people to use our lab here in Tarpon Springs, Florida. So it's going well?
Yes.
All right. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about going back to school and how LessonPix can help out. Lori just wrote an article for LessonPix. It's up, needs a couple pictures, and we'll probably put this video up in the top of it if it goes well.
If the video goes well.
And if they screw up, we'll throw it away and nobody will ever mention it again, right?
No, don't bring it up.
No. So we did come to the conclusion that live video might be easier, so we're going to give this a shot. If you guys have any questions, I will check occasionally. I can read any comments that you post, but it's always a huge lag. So if I don't respond until after the video, don't be upset. We're just going to walk through how to do back to school with LessonPix, and hopefully it will go well. So, ready?
Fingers crossed. Sure.
All right, cool. So, you're not going back, neither of you are going back to school this year, but you've done it for many, many years.
Yeah.
Not that many.
Many.
A few years.
Many years.
A few years.
Many.
Enough that you're no longer doing it. So,
Okay.
tell me a little bit about what you do to get ready for back to school and how you use visuals and how LessonPix helps.
Well, Theresa and I were talking as we were looking at the back to school materials and things that are needed, and we thought it would be good to do a video just to share some of the ideas of what we need to do to get our classrooms ready for the fall. And so we made a list of and figured we would have material samples to show just real quick. I'm not going to any depth.
I think our stream just crashed,
I do.
but I think it came back.
Okay.
Did it?
Yeah, but
it's
that's
all
okay.
good.
This is live.
I'm kind of scary.
That's what live's about. That's what it's what live video is about. It's why we do it. It covers our sins with technology sins, so we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to show some of the materials you use.
Basically, the first thing you're going to do is to try and organize your room or your therapy room or center, and labeling everything is very big for the kids.
I see that around here we have labels on everything, or at least you've made them. Not all of them are up yet, but there's labels everywhere around. Yes?
Correct. And in my classroom for the past few years, everything is labeled because when the kids walk in, you want them to know exactly what's expected, where things are, so that they feel comfortable and don't need prompts about, here's where your stuff goes, or this is where you find your pencils, your paper. It's just easily accessible and labeled.
So we have the ability to show close-ups of some of these materials. Is there anything you want to talk to that I can show?
Well, the very first and easiest way to label thing is, see, I can't talk. That's why we're live, right?
Go ahead.
Is to use picture cards or picture and word cards. Picture cards are obviously the most versatile, most used.
So they're your
template.
basic square cards, the things you see behind us in all of the holders, yes?
Yes,
And
everywhere.
then picture and words are word wall words.
Yes, and even typical children benefit from visuals.
Absolutely. So this is an example right here of what we were just looking at. It's got things you've labeled around your classroom: musical toys, swings, balls, cars, rockers, piano, and they are clear and easy to make. Now, these are real pictures. These aren't LessonPix pictures.
Yes.
So
We used photographs for these. These are pictures of items in our therapy center to be labeled. And I do color code just because I'm that kind of person, but it makes it easy to identify specific areas when they're color coded.
So these are from the gym.
Those are the gym, so they have a blue outline, but maybe a block center would have an orange outline, or science might have a different color as well.
Okay. And to do this, you just emailed these pictures into yourself with your phone?
I sure did.
You did. And I think I saw you doing it the other day. And then you chose the blue outline. This is a Century Gothic font, a nice simple font. And you cranked them out, yes?
Yes.
Yep.
Very easy.
So is there anything else you want me to show while we're here? I see this is the same template, but that's a different use, right?
Yes, these at the beginning you're going to have a schedule that the kids need to follow, and it's very easy to use the picture and word thing to make your schedule at the beginning. It's very fluid at the beginning of school because things might change on your time frame. So we just made simple picture and word cards that you could put up on your flow of the day at the beginning, and it makes it very simple to change them, the order or anything.
Yep, so these are the same template. We're using the full-size one, not the half-size, but otherwise they're the same, and you just cut them out. You can reorder them if you want to, or you can just follow them, and tomorrow if you need to reprint this, you can reprint it.
And
Right.
again, you can use your real photos, or you can use the
Yep, so these are
pictures on
LessonPix symbols.
LessonPix
I know all of those.
Yes.
Cool. So that's going a little bit into scheduling. Is there other things on scheduling that we need to
Yes,
tab
another thing you need to do to organize is to do some sequences or the like arrival time and how you would use
visual schedules?
Thank you.
It's all right.
And this is under the menu
And lists.
choice menu
Yeah.
and lists.
So this is actually a good one to know about. We have a very similar one under visual schedules, but this template is a little bit different. This is actually, it is under menus and lists, which is down under early literacy, right?
It is. It's initially started like a menu, like you would do in a
Right, and
dramatic
there's
play
cutesy
area.
there's cutesy looking ones in there too, like cupcakes and stuff like that.
And school supplies for beginning of the year, but I have a tendency to go towards simple when I'm using these as a visual to post around the classroom, just to make it easier to see what's expected in this area.
Okay, and so this actually has a set of rules, right? This is the same one, the same template being used for rules instead
Right.
of
For your play
scheduling.
area, it's what's expected as far as behavior in that area. Like you would play and you would share toys with a friend or listen. And also we thought too, another thing to add would be like a volume level from the volume chart. If you're using our volume chart, you could maybe put a number 3 with, or with maybe a 2, depending if it's a reading center, or a 3 if you're doing like the dramatic play center. And you could also include that either in your schedule or in your, add it to the top.
So if any of you have seen us at a booth recently, we've been giving away these great, rather than flyers, we've been giving these out. These are on one side, they have a core board with room for 2 fringe layers on the top. On the back, they actually have a voice volume chart. It's got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, which has got them color coded. And what you did was you actually just matched the color code and put a number.
Yes, and reference it in different areas of your classroom or outside on the playground. You're allowed to be a level 4 on the playground, and just teaching those kids so they get used to it and they don't need it.
And you can post the whole thing if you wanted. This actually is in our sharing center. We didn't make this up. We swiped it. We did make a couple modifications, but we swiped it from the sharing center. You'll find it there as well if you don't see us in a booth or have us send you these. If you do have an event going on, we do send these out occasionally. But it's a great use for it, and you can print these. These are the scales and ratings template that has voice level on them.
Sure.
Also great for, what's the name of the?
Marzano.
Thank you, Marzano, for setting up what your expectations are or
Yes.
knowledge levels.
Scales, yeah.
Right.
For each theme or whatever.
So all these things go to like organizing your room before the students arrive.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be your therapy room, your classroom, wherever you're working with, whatever space you're dealing with. And the one thing we were discussing is to make the classroom owned by the students, not like they're a guest. So if they can enter and be independent in the classroom, these labels, these visuals throughout the room are going to simplify their lives.
Hold on. Okay, came back.
Are we back?
Yes, it's live
It's
video.
me.
We never know. It is every time you want to talk. Sorry
It
about that.
is.
So it glitched for a second. But go ahead. You were
Okay.
saying if they own it, if they own the classroom themselves, and they're not guests, they're residents. They are owners of the space.
They are owners of the space, and when the room is clearly labeled, they can navigate independently throughout the space.
Cool.
And that kind of leads into planning your areas, because you might have children who have wheelchairs or walkers, and you need to make bigger spaces for them to navigate, or you might have runners and overstimulated areas.
Kiddos
that
who
you
need
to make
the
it
Lecter
very
swing
simpler.
and other areas
Yes.
that are
So
more
keep
confining.
that in mind when you're setting up your rooms as well.
Okay.
And schedules, visual schedules are very helpful.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
So,
All these materials, I do want to point out, you do need to find a shift each year to know your students, because you may shift your classroom depending on their needs. And so you don't want it to be too overstimulating, and you don't want it to be uninviting,
Right.
unengaging. So there is a balance there.
do you want to show a couple of the, we showed a schedule, this was rules, but I have a true schedule here that we made, correct? And a couple
Well,
of them.
this is another visual that you're showing here to hang up to show the processes.
Okay.
So it's going to break down a step into simpler things. Again, so a teacher doesn't have to stand there and say, did you use soap? Did you get a paper towel? So throughout the whole classroom, if you just have those visuals that you can point to,
Right.
you maintain the flow and promote that independence.
And this template is the picture schedule template.
It is
And this is underneath the picture schedule template, this is the strip schedule.
the strip
And I
schedule.
think it still prints 2 copies.
2 or 3, because there's room and it makes identical copies.
Of the
so
3.
you would have multiple strips
Yeah,
of
spares.
washing hands.
So you could
So-
put it in the restroom, you could put it by the sink, you could,
Yep. We send one
put it
home.
in different areas.
Maybe the mom would like them to wash their hands.
You could even put it in the gang bathroom for the older kids, because there's older kids
Sure.
who still would benefit from that.
So this one is a different visual schedule, also from the same template, right? This is the flap schedule, correct? That you
And
made
that breaks
cutesy.
bigger things into smaller pieces for those kids who need to know there's an end coming.
Alright, so
And
let
you
me,
can close them as you,
I'm sorry, I'm challenged here.
I would just, typically you begin with just opening one at a time and then
Mhm.
closing it when you're done and going to the next thing, but this would be breaking circle time. And again, we're kind of early childhood people, so we're starting low, but we're gonna work our way up to the middle
Yep.
school and high school.
Sure. And this template is also in the picture schedules, but it actually has instructions that tells you where to fold it and where to cut these, so that they'll fold on top of these. And then you printed this on cute plaid paper and put numbers on it,
I did,
because you're Lori.
because I'm Lori.
Because you're Lori. And she even cut little notches. You see little notches? So that these will actually stay down, right? Which is very much Lori.
That is very much
It's
me.
very much
You
you.
can use Velcro, you can,
Those of
Make
us
it
who are
as cutesy as you want.
cutting challenged people, I would never finish this project. All right, so but that's where it looks like when you're done. Yep.
all right, so one of the things now that we're going beyond just organizing your room, we're really looking at the schedules here.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've done the flap schedule and the strip schedule.
Right.
But a lot of times you don't know what you need in the beginning of the year.
Right.
So you're making a lot of these to be a generic, a resource you can pull when you need it those first few days, so you can adapt these materials to what you need.
Right.
And so one of the most versatile tools I use is just a notebook with some Velcro, and that way I can make very quickly a simple schedule, putting the pictures up, and utilize this as a choice board or as a schedule, and I can move them down to say I'm all done,
Right.
and use it in different ways.
What-
On the back is a
More of
sequence.
an order, right?
If
But again,
there's
you can
steps.
use it for anything. It just says directions. It doesn't say use the bathroom. It doesn't say unpack when you get here. It just says directions. And then you've got all of these cards just stuck on the inside.
Yes.
They're in a folder, a zipper on the inside, correct?
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're right here.
Oh, so
easily
those are
accessible.
Velcroed, right?
These
okay.
are Velcroed in here.
I've also seen you use the pencil pouches.
I do.
Yeah.
It
Well,
depends.
Right,
So,
we'll get to that.
And what I like about the ones with the clear is this is one of our templates. I had no pictures in the tray. I just printed it blank. So if you have nothing in your tray and you go click create materials, this is a sequence schedule
Gotcha.
under the picture schedule.
and then you just printed these the right size to match it.
And these are just picture cards.
Right. Just
That fit.
picture cards. Yeah.
And these are picture cards as well.
Excellent. Do you want me to show that up close?
Yeah,
Just for a
open
second.
it and show them kind of the.
It's not very neat. This is a real
This
material.
is
It's got
this
paint
is
on
well
it.
loved by kiddos. Oh yeah, there's brown
Well
stuff.
used.
It's brown paint.
It's
Yes.
paint? You
yes.
sure it's paint?
Because that is.
You sure? Because I've seen your class. So it might not be
I am a
paint.
special ed teacher.
That's right. There's been brown things in your class before. So, all right. So this is just a close up of this. So now, do you have a plan? Are these scratchy or are they soft?
The
Wait.
male goes on the picture. The
Are
female
you gonna have to
goes-
explain that?
Well,
The
mayo
scratchy side?
The scratchy side goes on the picture, and the fuzzy side goes on whatever.
So I know that's true for us because of this backdrop. Is that true for everybody?
Yes, because
Yes.
then you can put those on the carpet. You can put those on
On
felt
felt.
board. You can put them on everything. So the scratchy always goes
So
on.
the
the
moving
actual
part
picture.
gets the scratchy. All right. So
Yes.
any of you who disagree with that, Teresa's
Yeah,
name will
that's
be
the
in the
way it
link.
goes.
She'll listen to all of your complaints. So that is that's that side. On this side is it's upside down. So on this side is just some basic directions that have the Velcro dots. On the inside, you can see here she's just got picture cards that are
And
stuck every.
And again,
they're
those could be
everywhere.
accommodations for older kids,
Mhm.
you know, who need the things broken into smaller steps. or-
Absolutely right. Anybody in an ASD setting would find these
Yes,
very useful,
valuable.
right? And cheap. You spent no money for that, right?
Just
Very.
printed
You
it.
have no money in the school.
None.
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 You only
Not
have
even
you only have our money in the school, right? All right. So what's up next?
Yeah, something you cannot start your day without at any level is the first then boards.
Right. This is the number one thing we show in the booth. I think it is the favorite material.
It
period.
catches people's eye. They
Right.
stop by and they say, "Oh, I have one of these."
Right. They probably made it by hand, but it's much easier when you just say, make it.
Make
Right.
it. And I love the notebook idea. I love the fact that I can store the pictures. These are real pictures. The students
Careful.
real
Yeah.
first then board. But if you have some generic pictures, at least to start off with,
Mhm.
before they arrive, and then once they arrive, you might add like Ollie the Otter or other fidgets and toys, or
And
maybe
these
their
pictures are all
assistants.
safe. They're teachers. And
There's-
They are.
Rachel will be okay with that.
Or you go to therapy and then you come back to playground or
Yeah.
whatever. It gives them an end to the activity.
Yeah, and so this template, let me show it under here for a second. A couple of things I can say about the template. There are a couple different options. One is, sorry about the noise. One is it will print the pictures right here in the box. The other is it will leave it blank and print the right size pictures on a second page. And if you use that, you can then put more than 2 pictures and swap them out. Also, the words first and then are customizable.
Yes.
So you can say primero segundo, first after. I think there's a request for a template that says first then last.
Yes,
Is that
there
correct?
is. Yes,
That might happen this summer.
there may be.
Maybe before back to school.
No promises.
Okay,
We're
no
always
problem.
But the other thing you'll notice on this particular template is there are Velcro dots at the bottom,
Yeah.
and this was
They
used
can't see
for
that.
a little bit
Yeah.
higher student who could choose what the then would be.
So they could put it up here.
They
That's a
would
good
put it
idea.
up there, give them a little bit more
Gotcha.
power in the in their.
So they could
choices.
say, maybe they have rest down here. So first circle time, and then they say, then I want to rest.
Rest or tablet or whatever.
Tablet or feed the
Book.
cat.
Or book or
Right.
something.
All right. Very cool. This is always a big hit every time we're at any place.
And then for the older kids, you have the traveling type of schedule here with, you can get, where did you get this one at?
Staples.
At Staples.
I bought
for
this.
Very cheap, and there's a little envelope thing on the back where you can keep your pictures that can be changed.
Yeah, I should probably show that because for $1, this
Yeah.
might be the best buy out there, right?
It is nice.
When do you use it? Everywhere?
It is a great transition tool.
Yeah, for
it's
going to
small.
therapies or changing classrooms with the older kids.
Okay.
Exactly.
So this, if you guys haven't seen one of these, this is an envelope for coupon collection. It's in the coupon collecting section of Staples. It has this section here where you can put all of your cards, and then you can put the cards that you're working with on a Velcro strip. And there actually is another little pocket right here where you can put things like when you're done with them, without having to open up the full pack of everything you have going for you. So we found these at the CEC Dad Conference in 2010.
I don't know.
It was a long time ago at a dad conference, and they've been a hit in the booth.
Actually, they
we
were-
could make a fortune on these.
They were a huge hit in my classroom.
Yeah.
Certain students have loved carrying these when they go to speech or when they go to PE to
Gotcha.
help them move, especially when speech is 2 days a week, occupational therapy is 2 days a week, and they have a hard time knowing
Keeping
where
track.
they're going to go next. And
Right.
so we had a little girl who was having meltdowns in the hallway because the speech teacher was stopping her in line, and she had her mind set on, I'm going from PE to the classroom, and here comes the speech
Big
therapist
pull-out.
to pull her out.
Right.
And that was not okay. But if it was on her schedule, it was much easier for her to transition, even if it didn't occur in a typical place.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, at least it was on there. It was not completely foreign.
Speech is going to get you at some time.
You must love that, chasing kids down in the line coming back from lunch, right?
All right, so we've been talking about organizing your classroom and different schedules, and a lot of these things also influence behavior and establishing your behavior plan.
Right.
So we have a lot of different tools. The first then is, of course,
Huge.
a powerful tool for
Right.
behavior.
And also some social narratives for the little guys, learning like what the expectations are, or maybe the routines, because a lot of them have not gone to lunch to have lunch. They've always eaten in their classroom, or so there's simple things, and there's a lot on the Share Center. So make sure you check out the Share Center before you try to make your own things, and you can always adapt what's on the Share Center to tweak it to make it more your own.
So can I see the social narrative for a
So
second?
that one's walking to lunch and walking in a line and things.
All right.
That might be new.
So this is a social narrative. Carol Gray calls them social stories, but we're not allowed to call them that because she trademarked it. Oh, I can say it in sentence. That's just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So they are your basic stories that have basically one picture and text at the bottom. These are great for explaining what's going to happen next. This is a fire drill. I can walk to lunch.
I can walk.
Fire drill's important because
Fire
every
drill's a big
school
deal.
does
Yep.
like 2 in the first week of school. So
So have your fire drill
do
social
that
stories ready.
early. Yes,
I can
do it
actually,
early.
I think I can actually show you guys. I haven't tested.
I think
I
there's-
tested this. Hold on.
I think
There you go.
there's one on the Share Center.
Yeah, there's a good one. Actually, here in the Sharing Center, there is a, if you just go to the Sharing Center and search for fire drill, you'll find all kinds of different sharing. Here's a small book one. Here's one. What do we do when we have a fire drill? And if you go in, you can print this. You can make it full page if you want. You can steal the pictures and modify them. You can translate them to Spanish or Urdu or whatever other languages you need. So start with that. If you don't have a fire drill one, go to the Sharing Center. Just steal it. Right?
Yeah.
We're all for stealing.
And you can change
good
one
ideas.
picture or all of them or whatever you want, or change a label.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Absolutely. All right. Before we go on, I'm going to take a quick peek and see if we have any questions. I see people who are happy and who love us and are clapping.
Thank you.
But no questions. If you have any questions, I will check again in a few minutes. Okay? All right.
All right.
So,
So to continue on, talking about behavior,
mhm.
developing your behavior plan before school begins, so you're ready. We talked about different social narratives. You talked about the fire drill, and this one's about emotions, about when I get angry.
Yep.
Maybe include places to go if you have students that you know may need a break area.
Calm area. Or, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to give them a social narrative that explains what to do when they're feeling angry. And then another tool we have that we've made is using picture cards where you can have a list of sensory tools that a student can choose
Gotcha.
from.
Let me walk through this one first. These are when I get angry, I can't. We have a good template for this, when I am, right? We could use that as well. We don't have
Yes.
that one printed, I don't think, but that's a great one as well. But if I'm angry, I should not yell. I can take deep breaths, etc.
Yep.
Right? And then here's your sensory tools. Let me put our pictures back up here. So
Make sure we're there.
we're here. We're still here live. So you were talking about Aiden's sensory tools, and these are. Do you cut these out, or does he point to these, or?
I leave them on a full sheet and let the child be able to select or maybe suggest some of the things that they can do.
Okay. And on here is crab walk, push-ups, wheelbarrow.
I might start with a smaller list for the beginning of the year and grow the list as we've worked on these skills.
We
So
just-
I might say something like fidgets, break area, different get a drink.
Sure. I need a break. Right.
And you can make a copy and send it home for parents to use the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
Great idea.
It's good communication.
Let's see if it comes back. It hung here for a second.
Okay.
We'll find out if it comes back or not. If not,
That's
it'll go
good.
poof, and we'll have to restart. Not the whole thing.
All right,
We'll
here we go.
continue. Hey, we're back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I don't know what causes that. It has something to do with Facebook because it never never does it when we're not on Facebook. But there's Aiden Sensory Tools. What is this one?
That is a visual post to hang in your room, just with some reminders if you need them.
Okay.
And they can say
Do and
exactly
do not cards.
what
This one,
is expected.
we have a version with a big old red slash, right?
If you are anti-X or anti-red X, you can make that X blue.
It's true.
Oh, wow.
It's true. Yep. All right.
Something new every day.
There you go.
What's this?
Also, if you need it, you may design a token system in your class of
Gotcha.
some way or another. This is actually a material from Augmentative Resources.
We love that. That's Cheryl Miller's company.
And it's really nice because our picture cards fit right inside very easily.
Yep.
There are multiple types of token systems that we can talk about at another time.
Yeah, we're gonna have a longer one. But this is a nice one. It comes from augresources.com. Our pictures fit in here, and then it comes with the tokens that then they collect and turn in for
For a reward
rewards or things like that. Yeah. So this is great. It's also very, very well made. These things are kind of bulletproof for kiddos.
Yeah.
And they stick to our big board behind us.
They sure do.
All right, so we're gonna.
Be for PBIC kids.
So one more
And behavior.
in behavior. So this is probably the one that gets the most excitement from speech pats and OTs and PTs. They love this template because they keep track of how many times they heard an utterance. They keep track of how many times they saw a behavior. They check off all kinds of things in tally cards. And in this case, you're tracking behavior.
They come in different sizes, and they also allow for students to self-monitor as well. So
Gotcha.
they can keep track of how many times they've done specific tasks.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, and those kids are on PBIPs. You can put in their goals in there.
PBIP for the engineer and us is a behavior management and behavior improvement
It's
plan,
a positive behavior.
Intervention.
Yes.
intervention plan.
And they have specific.
That's what we go
goals,
into
and
right
you have
before
to
we get
tally
canned. We
them.
go on to
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
performance
You
improvement
have
plan.
to tally how many
Gotcha.
times they do
Gotcha.
it, or you present it, or everything. So that's.
Gotcha. So
another
this is
way.
a way of helping the teacher track and have the data they need in order to get the kid placed or get the behavioral supports they need or get the additional resources in the classroom and things like
Yes.
It's almost like I've watched you do this before.
You're familiar with all
I've
of
heard
this.
all about this stuff.
And obviously, parent communication is a big issue, but we're going to get into that at a later time after you get to know your kids. And
Yeah, maybe we'll
be
do
more
it.
specific
Maybe
to-
we'll do that next month.
Yeah, well, we're trying to do these videos
So
more often for
I
you
hate to
this
say
time,
this, but
so.
this is awfully easier than trying to do the scripted stuff, isn't it?
Okay, so
Okay.
next is community, and Lori is awesome at setting up her classroom. She goes way over the top with her themes and her cuteness, and those
It's 'cause-
owls were like the best she ever did. I love the owls. So she can talk to you about making it all cutesy and organized.
Well, I think when you're setting up your year,
Yeah.
building a community is a crucial aspect because that's your relationships, that's your trust with these kids when they come in. So a lot of times you can choose a theme, but you don't have to. I know older classrooms sometimes start
Bare walls.
bare and let the kids label the room, let the kids set up the classroom, and design the small centers guided by the teacher. So some of the themes, though, if you are a theme person, you can do things like bears or crayons or ocean theme. I like crayons because I do Harold and the purple crayon.
Oh, that's right.
Or
Where
the
the
crayon
thing
box
goes
that
all the way
talked.
along the wall.
Crayon box that talked is
And-
really good.
Love the crayon box because we come in many different colors.
I didn't just roll my eyes at you. I promise I didn't just roll my eyes at you.
You'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I would be in trouble if I did that. So I didn't do that. We'll watch the video later. I'll
It's
prove
very
that I
unique. I
didn't roll
love
my
it.
eyes at you.
One of the LessonPix things that's really good at the beginning of the year is the Getting to Know You Bingo. You can use real photos of your children,
Yep.
and it's not shared with anybody outside of your account. So don't,
Gotcha.
it's all personalized.
And I would show this up closer, except these are attendees at an
Yeah, we haven't had their permission.
ATIA session. But I will be happy to point out that we have a great video on doing back to school bingo. Right, so get to know you bingo, my friends bingo. You take your pictures, your kids' pictures, you throw them in the tray, and you make bingo cards, playing cards.
Who has,
I have, who has.
Yep,
Yeah.
we have playing cards as well, and
Yep.
I usually put my students' pictures on the playing cards, and they play Go Fish, getting to know each other.
Yep, I'll show you.
It's
I will show
a nice
you.
center at the beginning, and also you can use that for getting to know your school. You can have the principal, the nurse, the secretary, all the different people, the PE teacher, the therapist, all their pictures on there, so the kids get to know the
Gotcha.
specialist around school as well.
That's a great point.
And then these I can show.
Mm-hmm.
These are probably just as important. Let me put these down as get to know you bingo would be your name tags, right?
Another thing you can use, yes, your children's pictures on, and make these for when you have a substitute, so she knows the kid's name with their picture, and she doesn't have to go around asking everybody, what's your name, what's your name? And also, I just realized, sorry, that you can change the name on here and down here, so you could use these in speech to say, I'm working on whatever sound, and ask me about whatever at the bottom, so that's awesome too. You could just pin it on the kid and send them out in the school.
Hey Jaden,
Yeah,
tell me an S word.
exactly.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Ask me about, to describe something, or
Pragmatic language. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Very cool. All right, so this is another good one. Thank you, Deb, for letting me use your picture. I didn't ask, but I'm assuming you're okay with it because you're Deb.
So one of the best things about LessonPix, though, is that there are so many templates and a lot we forget about. So that's why beginning of the year is great to go to the Sharing Center and pull up different ideas and activities. And if you are choosing a theme, you can make a lot of different games using your theme. So crayons or fish or jungle animals, whatever your theme is, you can populate your room to make it more inviting. This one is from the Three Little Pigs. It's a map for the wolf as he navigated around. But this template is a treasure map. Great for Talk Like a Pirate Day or
yes,
September 19th. That's right.
yes.
Awesome. But it's also a great schedule for them to follow. So you can do it as
You could do it to get to go to the school, right? You could have them go classroom to
Parent night.
classroom,
With
parent
night, the
night.
kids can show the parents around their classroom.
Yeah.
And they're
things.
basically just following step by step.
So let me show that down here. If you guys haven't seen this, this is under treasure map because we like to be really tricky about the names of our templates.
You can change the title at the top, add more pictures.
Yeah.
And we
And so you
used to
can-
actually use these too in pre-K as when we did obstacle courses. They would do that, and we'd project this. All these you can use on your smart board. So the kids would actually do the drawing with their hands on the smart board, and then they would follow the actual actions
So
to go
it's-
through the obstacle course. It's very versatile.
And it's generated as a PDF, so you can just drop it onto a smart notebook or anything else. And I love the fact that even in this crazy font, it actually takes your text. So whatever you're trying to do, it looks like it's a pirate theme. I like it. So yeah, and there's a version of this that's white like this, and there's another one that actually has a parchment background. They use a lot more ink, but looks better. Right. All right. Where are we?
We're almost done.
We're almost done.
We're almost done. We're
Good.
still
So guys, we will answer questions before we're done. But what do we got?
Continuing to get our materials ready for those first 2 weeks of school where
Yep.
you're building your community. This is just a sign, really, it's a 2-page picture.
Okay.
So 2 pictures on 1 page under picture cards. And we put the title at the top, but it's great to post around the room just as like a scavenger hunt or an obstacle course. And this was part of an obstacle course. I can go through the tunnel, over the chair, under the table.
So you put position Pete on the left and what you want to work with on the right.
It's very fun because
So
you want
just
the
an
kids to
additional
love
visual.
coming
And so
to
just
school.
just because everybody's going to go looking for this template and they're never going to find it, I'm going to show them how to make this. Okay?
Okay, is it
You guys, I'm
gonna
sure
work?
you guys are. Yes, it'll work.
It's not gonna crash?
No, it won't crash. Might crash. I don't know. We'll find out pretty quickly.
Because we haven't.
So the way you do this is you clear your tray. You go into the clip art section. You would go into position Pete. We'll do a search here. Position Pete. We take any of the position Pete things. Let's say in, and I don't know. What do you want to be in? A box. Okay, I'm gonna go in a box.
Sure.
Why not? So we'll take a box and we'll throw it in here. So we're gonna, in a box. Now you do a bunch of these, 2 at a time. But you go to create materials, and then all you used was picture cards.
That's it, picture cards.
Picture cards. And then you hit next. You got in, and then you say the box, okay? And you choose English. On the next page, you've got your title, which says I can go, ... You want it landscape,
Landscape.
right? And you want, well, it'll work with this actually, with all the cards on one page,
There's several options you have here. You can't really go wrong.
right? When you hit grid layout, it's going to put one on the left and one on the right, okay? Which is fine. We are going to choose no border color,
No border color. And I did the text at the top.
and you did say put the text at the top, and that's it. Now, I hate Comic Sans, so I'm going to use Century Gothic font, and we're going to hit finish. And you just made it, right? Isn't this exactly the same template? I can go in the box.
Yep.
I can go through the tunnel. Very cool. All right, so that's the template that she used. And I know a lot of people will be looking for the I can go template. So I wanted to make sure we showed it. And let's go back to us. Sorry about the infinite mirror there. But we're good?
We're good.
We're good. All right.
So I have a couple more things as we're getting our room ready.
Okay.
We have another, what would be under books and stories, but this is not a social narrative.
Nope.
It goes to some of the songs. This is the Florida alphabet, but we make them for a lot of the songs that we would do as just visual support as we're learning these.
And this is the Florida alphabet, which is a silly song that the state of Florida pushes down the throat of these kids.
No, not
No,
at
no,
all.
no?
It's a YouTube video.
Fun video.
Somebody made. It's awesome.
Okay.
And
I
was
only
talking-
learned about it from Tina Kufagazis.
yes, but she has found this, but she's the one that introduced it to us, found it on YouTube, and what she liked about it is she does older students who have severe cognitive delays, and in their classroom they need to be teaching
Yes.
social studies
Right.
content.
And they need to be on,
And
So-
it all
Yeah.
has to do all with Florida.
and scaffolded down to.
It's
So
brought down to their
Those
level.
of you in Alaska won't need this.
No, they're going to do recess at 30 below.
I got chills just thinking about it. And then we have these lovely new,
This is the last thing, right?
lovely new,
Brand new.
magic
Index card.
index cards.
And she didn't name them that. I did.
Yes,
but,
you did.
But she's a fan.
But yes, I've already used them for like plurals. I put singular on the front, plurals on the back. Of course, you have to figure out which way your printer feeds and all that, but they're really cool. So
If you've
don't
never
have to
seen
cut
these-
and paste, which speech therapists do a lot.
Yes. If you've never seen these before, this template is brand new. It came out this summer, and it basically prints on 4x6 or 5x8 index cards, and it doesn't require any cutting.
It's
So,
awesome.
It's awesome. It saves a ton of time,
A lot of
right? And it's cheaper.
Vocabulary.
It's just way cheaper. I mean, the
Index
cost of
cards are
index
very
cards
affordable.
compared to the cost of cardstock is night and day.
Yes.
So
And then you're cutting and pasting and laminating, and these you can just
feed them
laminate.
through, right? So to those of you in the LessonPix users group who helped us prototype those earlier this summer, thank you. I think I'm going to have a contest on these to stock the sharing center with some of these. So we'll give away something to the person who posts the most index cards or the best index cards or something. I think August 1st, I'll probably launch a contest on these.
Okay.
I kind of just pre-announced it.
Okay.
There you go.
So exciting.
All right, so I don't think we have any questions, but I'm going to look. We've got Christy's here, Vanessa's here. Everybody loves us, and Chandler loved the pirate map, and I think we're good.
We're good.
I think we're good.
So if you guys have any like requests of what you would like videos about, let us know.
I think that if you guys are comfortable,
We're trying. We did good for the first time.
so
We've been
this was
practicing all day.
All day.
This is infinitely better than this morning session, where they were trying to do more scripted
Lots
videos.
of bloopers.
Yeah, we'll post those later.
Don't you
No.
dare.
So I think we will probably do this periodically and maybe just walk through 5 materials, right? And do it around whatever you're working on. Let's do Pirate Day. Let's just show 5 things
We
you can
should
do
do
at
it
Pirate
like
Day.
ahead. So like the next like whatever's coming up the next month.
Yes, but we should do it live because we like live.
We survived.
Live, yeah, live is much more forgiving. They all know we're live and they're willing to put up with us, right, guys? See?
As long as we're doing it Friday night, it's not live for them.
That's right. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys both sitting down and on a Friday night with low viewership. It's all good, but we'll post it later. It'll be up there. So for those of you who did watch us live, thank you very much for joining us. We do actually have a therapy center here that has an open house on Tuesday. If you're in the Tampa Bay area and you're looking for a place to host your practice, contact us and we'll send you an invite. I think that's about it. We have a lot going on at LessonPix right now. We have a lot of groups we're training. We have a lot of new materials going up. Lots of pictures.
Very
being
exciting.
drawn.
Yes.
So Lori has drawn hundreds of pictures this summer. So
Lots, yes.
yeah, if you've got a picture you're waiting on,
We do have like
might be seeing
1,200 emails with requests, so we're working on it.
we're working on it.
Be
We might have gotten a little bit behind, but we're catching up.
We're trying.
So, all right. So listen, thanks a lot, guys, and thank you guys for joining us, and have a great weekend. Bye.